Hello students. Today now we are starting with new chapter and it is also in accountancy and connected with chapter number 1. Somewhat connected with chapter number 1. Now name of chapter number 2 is dual effect of transactions and types of account. If you are understanding these things in this chapter and if you are knowledge about this chapter, then whole account becomes very easy to understand to all of you. So that's why today's lecture is very important to all, because basic of accountancy is now started. On this basis we are going ahead in accountancy. So I can say these are the pillars of your accounting, and that's why in this chapter we are understanding types of transactions. Now going ahead without wasting your time, see, because first of all we have to decide, then after we have to give effect of it. So business transactions. All of we know two types of business transaction which we have done in chapter number 1. First, economic transactions. Second, non-economic transactions. So first economic transactions, second non-economic transaction. Now always remember, we are recording only and only economic transactions. We are not giving of non-economic transactions effect, because it cannot be measured in terms of money, and that is written in definition itself. We are recording that transactions only which are of economic transactions, which can be measured in terms of money. Which cannot be measured in terms of money, that transactions we are not recording in our accounting books. So we have to identify first which are economic transactions and which are non-economic transactions. So that can be identified by measurement of money or not only. That is only identification. So first step, today we will do one sum in which you have to decide only one thing. Is it economic or non-economic? That sum we are doing. Then after, if you have a knowledge, if it's a non-economy, then no need to bifurcate ahead. No need to bifurcate ahead, because these transactions are not recorded in the books. But if economic transaction is there, then it can be divided in 3 parts. First is cash transaction. Second is credit transaction. In cash transactions, at the time we are paying money or receiving money. In credit transaction, future promise is done to pay or receive the money. And other transaction. Now these are the other transactions. These other transactions are actually losses, or maybe other things. Giving example, loss due to fire. Loss due to fire. Now, is it cash transaction? If in fire, cash burn, then cash transaction. Goods burn, then credit transaction? No, it's other transaction. Loss due to theft. Goods given in charity. Is it cash? Is it credit? No, but other transaction. So other transactions are like loss or free samples we are giving So it is also other transactions in which we are not getting cash in future or at the time of transaction. The transaction in which we are not getting cash or we are not getting promise to getting cash. That type of transactions are other transaction. Simple. So, what is our today's work? First thing, decide transaction is economic transaction or transaction is non-economic transaction. That is our first step. If it is a economic transaction, then think, is it cash? Is it credit or other? Now, which are the rules to identify transaction is cash or credit? Which are the rules for identification of cash and credit? So try to understand. Most important thing. Suppose I am telling you 5,000 rupees goods purchase in cash. Sir, simple. It is given cash transaction, nothing else. So it's a cash transaction. By reading transaction, we can know it's a cash. Okay. Going ahead, giving you second example. 5,000 rupees goods purchased from Ram in cash. Sir, again, that is clarification given. It's cash transaction. So no need to understand it. Here I am writing all the examples so that you can easily understand transaction is cash or credit. Now what we are doing, if it is economic transaction, then decide is it cash or credit. That is our step. So first, 5,000 rupees goods purchase in cash. Sir, simple. It's a cash transaction. Given cash. It means cash transaction. Going ahead. Second one. 5,000 rupees goods purchased from Ram in cash. So again, it is given cash. Whenever clearly mentioned in the transaction cash, it means it's a cash transaction. This transaction is made in cash. It means cash transaction. Simple. Nothing else. Now, going ahead. ₹5,000 goods purchased from Ram. Now, is there any clarification? Is it cash or credit? No, sir. No clarification. Is there clarification from whom I am purchasing? Yes, sir. There is the clarification. I have purchased goods from Ram. I have purchased goods from Ram. Yes, there is the clarification. From whom? Ram. It means from Ram I have purchased goods. It means it's a credit transaction because name of the person is given. So you can say me, sir, here also name given, but here clarification also given in cash. Then don't think about it. If name of the person is given, it means it's a credit transaction. Simple. So here, this transaction is credit transaction. So going ahead, taking another example. 5,000 rupees goods purchase. Now, is there any clarification from whom I have purchased? No, sir. There is no clarification. So, how I can say it's a credit? Because for credit, there must be some person. There must be some person for credit transaction. Now, here no clarification given about cash. No clarification about particular person. So, this transaction is cash transaction. Simple. Don't remember any rule for identifying cash or credit. Only remember one rule. Which rule? If in transaction name of the person is given, it means it's a credit transaction. But condition is there must be not clarification about cash. That is the common sense. If there is given transaction is cash, then it's a cash transaction. Even there is the name given. Like second number. Here name given, cash given. From Ram in cash. It means clearly given cash transaction. Then how I am thinking? It's a credit or cash because clear given. But if clearly not given, if in transaction clearly not given transaction is cash or not, then think yourself, apply rule. If name given, party's name is given from whom we have transacted, then credit. If name is not given, it means consider it's a cash transaction. Now some exceptional cases are there. There are many exceptional cases which we are seeing in the examples. But general things, only this. So, what is our today's target? Today's target is only one thing, that is business transactions are of two types. Bifurcate it. It's a economic or non-economic. If non-economic, don't worry, don't go ahead directly, leave it. We don't think about it. For economic transaction, cash transaction, credit transaction or other. If it's other, then loss type of transactions may be there, free samples given may be there. But if cash or credit, then decide on the basis of rule. If clearly given on credit, suppose here given 5,000 rupees goods purchase on credit, even there is no name given, but on credit clearly given, then we have to assume it is on credit. If clearly given, then don't apply your mind. If clearly not given, then and then only apply your mind. And what you have to apply? If name of the party given with whom we are transacting, then it's a credit transaction. And if name is not given, it's a cash transaction. Some exceptional cases means some twist questions are there. For that we are seeing in examples. Don't worry. Going ahead. Now, my explanation for today's lecture is over. Now we are doing sum, and in which you have to identify its economic, non-economic. If it is economic, then cash, credit or other. So today we are identifying only transactions. Going ahead, see, don't worry. So in your textbook, 26 number page, illustration number 1 is given. I am reading it and you have to think about the answer. Which answer? First answer should be economic or non-economic. And if economic, then think this. That you have to give answer. So reading illustration number 1. Describe whether the following transactions are economic or non-economic transaction and clarify the reason for it. Clarify reason for it. Now here only one question is given. It's economic or non-economic. But what we are doing? We are doing ahead also. it's cash, credit or other. That is also we will do. So reading and you are thinking, then I will give you the answer. So first one, asset purchase for rupees 10,000. Now asset purchase for rupees 10,000. I am purchasing goods, asset for 10,000. Now think, is it economic or non-economic? Sir, simple. We have purchased asset. It means it's economic transaction of rupees 10,000. So that is clear. It's economic transaction. Now think, if it is economic, then cash or credit? So in transaction, asset purchase for rupees 10,000. In transaction, is there clarification given? It's cash or credit? No, sir. No clarification given. Then don't worry. Apply your mind. Name of the person is given or not. If name given, then credit. Name not given, then cash. Sir, no, there is no clarification about the name also. It means it's a cash transaction. Simple. So first transaction clear, and that is your answer. Now why it is economic transaction? That is the question. Give reason also. We have purchased asset and we have to pay money, 10,000 rupees. So 10,000 rupees is paid, cash transaction is there. Simple. So cash is paid against asset purchase, cash given. That is the reason. Going ahead. Second one. Asset purchase from Radha for rupees 12,000 on credit. Asset purchase from Radha for rupees 12,000 on credit. Now first of all, it's a economic or non-economic? Sir, again we have purchased assets. And we have purchased asset, it means it's a economic. Now think, cash or credit? Sir, no need to apply our mind, because clearly given on credit, it means it's a credit transaction. Simple. Going ahead. Third number point. Asset sold for rupees 20,000. Now we have sold asset for rupees 20,000. Asset sold for rupees 20,000. Now think, is it credit or cash? Simple, sir. It's a, first of all, economic or non-economic? So it's economic. Why economic? Because we have sold. We are receiving money. Now, if it is economic, then cash or credit? So read question carefully. Is there clarification given? So asset sold for 20,000. So no clarification given. It's cash or credit. If clarification is not given, then apply your mind. Is there name given? No, sir. Name is also not given. It means it's cash. Simple. So it's a cash transaction. So why you are making this type of rule? This rule is not mine. This rule is of accounting. I am applying only. And that you have to remember why it is. We don't know. They told if name is not given, it means it's a cash. There is some logic. Because whenever credit transaction is there, then somebody should be there. Its name must be compulsory to receive. And that's why if name is not given, then consider it is a cash transaction. That is the logic applied. But what for us? Remember rule applied. That's it. Going ahead. Fourth one. Asset sold to Meera on credit for rupees 22,000. Again, first of all, decide two types of transactions. Sir, it's a economic transaction. Yes, we are accepting it's a economic transaction. Now think, cash or credit? Sir, clearly given on credit. Don't apply our rule. when we are applying our mind, if no clarification given. Simple. So it's a credit transaction. Going ahead. Next one. Fifth one. 8,000 paid for wages. So I have paid wages 8,000 rupees. First of all, sir, non-economy transaction or economy transaction? Simple, sir. It's an economy transaction. Paid wages, cash paid against service taken. Somebody has worked for me, that's why we have paid against it. So economy transaction is there. Now cash or credit. Now here, paid wages means what paid? Money paid. Simple. By word itself, we can know about it's a cash transaction. Paid means what? Simple. We have paid cash. Now suppose check is given, then what? It means it's a cash transaction. So where cash goes out? Don't worry. We have paid through check, through bank, through online transactions. It means it's a cash transaction. Don't worry about it. Going ahead. 9,000 received for rent. Now I received rent. Simple, sir. It is also economic transaction because I am receiving rent. It's my income and can be measured in terms of money. Simple. So I have to record it as a income. Now think, sir, cash or credit? Received means what? I got money. It means cash transaction. So by name itself, received, paid, it means cash transaction. Going ahead, new transaction. Liability of rupees 15,000 is settled. Now liability 15,000 settled. What it means? My liability of 15,000 I settled. It means I paid it. It means I paid it. Again, it's a economic transaction. Again, it's a economic transaction. Now cash or credit? Simple. Settled means paid. Paid means cash paid. Cash transaction. So by name itself, settled, it means paid. Paid means cash transaction. We can know easily. Simple. Going ahead. Next transaction. Receivable of rupees 18,000 is received. Now receivable of rupees 18,000 received. Think, I received amount. It means I received cash. Again, it's an economic transaction because measured in terms of money. Now cash or credit? Simple, sir. It's a cash transaction because I received amount. Going ahead. An order is received to supply goods of rupees 10,000. Now what I received? I received order to supply goods. Now think, first of all, economic or non-economic? Received order to supply goods. It means I will supplying goods in future. Is it economy or non-economy? First try to understand that and give me answer. Think in your mind, I will understand each and everything. Receiving order. Is there relation of liability or asset? If I am receiving order, it means that person is a debtor. I have to receive money also. Is it so? Think. Suppose I am giving order to someone, give me 5 crore rupees goods. It means my liability to pay 5 crore arises? No. No. When liability arises, if he is supplying goods to me, then my liability arises up to that level. If he is not supplying, then I am not liable to pay any rupees to him. Simple. So here I am receiving order. I had not supplied my goods. So he is not my debtor and I am not liable to take money from that particular person. So it is not an economic transaction. It is not an economic transaction because there is no liability arises, there is no relation arises, there is no credit transaction. If I am supplying goods as per the order, then it becomes economic transaction. But if I am getting order at that time, it is not an economic transaction. Simple. So it's not an economic transaction. So no need to think about it. Cash, credit or other. Simple. Going ahead. A planning is made to buy one asset. I have made plan to buy my house. Am I purchased? No. I have a plan to purchase. So it is not arises. It is not a still transaction. Non-economic transaction. I have made a plan to purchase asset but not purchased. If I am purchasing, then it becomes economic transaction. But still this level, it is not an economic transaction. Simple. Next and last. To enhance sale. For discussion, a meeting is arranged with salesman. Now we want to enhance our sale. We want to expand our sale. We want to increase our sale. And for that, meeting is arranged. What we have to do? Think. All our thinking, very best management is done. Now tell me, is it economy or non-economy? Sir, we are thinking it is not economic transaction. Is there receivable payable transactions? No. So it is not an economic transaction. So no need to think about it. If non-economy, then we don't need to think anything. But if it's an economic transaction, then think cash, credit or other. So what we have done today? Sir, we have done only two things. Decide transaction is non-economy or economy. If it is economy, then think ahead, cash, credit or other. That's it. From next lecture, we are doing some types of account and their rule of debit and credit. Today, this much is okay. Bye. Meet you in next lecture with new topic.